Have you ever noticed how right before you completely burn out, you suddenly feel this strange burst of energy? Like you could take on the world, finish that project, stay up late scrolling through social media, or push through one more task. It feels real. It feels powerful. But here's the disturbing truth. Your brain is lying to you. That energy isn't real at all. It's a neurological trick, a last-ditch survival mechanism that your brain uses when it's running on empty. And if you keep ignoring these warning signs, the crash that follows won't just ruin your day. It could fundamentally damage your cognitive health for years to come. This phenomenon has a name in neuroscience, and understanding it might be the difference between thriving and merely surviving in our hyper-connected, always-on world. What you're about to discover will change how you view fatigue, productivity, and the very signals your brain sends you every single day. Before we dive deeper into this critical topic, if you value your brain health and want to protect your cognitive future, hit that subscribe button right now. Click the bell icon so you never miss insights that could transform your mental performance. And if this content resonates with you, leave a like to help others discover this vital information. Let's start with what's actually happening inside your skull when you experience this fake energy surge. Your brain consumes roughly 20% of your body's total energy, despite being only 2% of your body weight. It's an incredibly expensive organ to operate, metabolically speaking. When you've been pushing hard for extended periods, depleting your glucose reserves, disrupting your sleep patterns, or maintaining chronic stress levels, your brain begins running into an energy crisis. Under normal circumstances, when your body detects low energy reserves, you should feel tired. Simple enough, right? That's your brain's way of saying it needs rest and recovery. But we live in a culture that glorifies the grind, celebrates hustle, and treats exhaustion like a badge of honor. So we've trained ourselves to override these signals, to push through, to keep going no matter what. Here's where the deception begins. When your brain realizes you're not listening to its polite requests for rest, it activates what neuroscientists call the stress response system. Your hypothalamus signals your adrenal glands to release a cocktail of stress hormones, primarily cortisol and adrenaline. These chemicals flood your system, creating that sudden feeling of alertness and energy. Your heart rate increases. Your pupils dilate. Your muscles receive extra blood flow. You feel ready for action. This is the exact same biological mechanism that helped our ancestors escape from predators. It's designed for short-term survival situations where you need immediate physical and mental resources. The problem is, you're not running from a lion. You're just trying to finish a work presentation or binge-watch another series when you should be sleeping. Your brain can't tell the difference. It interprets your refusal to rest as a signal that you're in danger, so it gives you emergency reserves. Jim Quick, renowned brain performance expert, describes this state as borrowing energy from tomorrow to pay for today. And just like financial debt, this borrowing comes with serious interest charges. The energy you feel isn't being generated from nowhere. It's being pulled from critical maintenance systems that your brain and body desperately need to function properly. Think about it like this. Imagine your body is a smartphone. Throughout the day, you use your battery performing various tasks. When your battery hits 20%, you get a warning. That's like feeling normally tired. But instead of charging your phone, you enable low power mode and keep using it. The phone diverts energy from background processes, dims the screen, and limits functionality to keep the core system running a bit longer. That's exactly what happens with fake energy. Your brain is in emergency low power mode, sacrificing long-term health for short-term function. The neurological costs of this pattern are profound and often invisible until the damage accumulates. During proper rest and sleep, your brain performs critical maintenance operations. The glymphatic system, discovered relatively recently in neuroscience research, activates primarily during deep sleep. This system essentially pressure washes your brain, clearing out metabolic waste products and toxins that accumulate during waking hours. Among these waste products is beta amyloid, a protein strongly associated with cognitive decline and Alzheimer's disease. When you run on fake energy instead of genuine rest, you're not giving your glymphatic system adequate time to perform this essential cleaning operation. Day after day, week after week, those waste products accumulate. You might not notice the effects immediately, You might even feel proud of how much you're accomplishing, but you're essentially choosing short-term productivity over long-term cognitive health. There's another critical process that gets disrupted. Memory consolidation happens primarily during sleep, particularly during REM sleep and slow-wave sleep stages. When you learn something new during the day, that information exists in a fragile, temporary state. During sleep, your hippocampus replays these experiences, transferring important information into long-term storage in your cortex. This process is absolutely essential for learning, creativity, and problem-solving. Running on stress hormones instead of genuine rest doesn't just make you tired later. It actively interferes with your ability to form lasting memories and integrate new knowledge. You might study hard or work intensely, but without proper rest, a significant portion of that effort is wasted because the information never properly consolidates. Students who pull all-nighters before exams often perform worse than those who study less but sleep properly. The research on this is absolutely clear. Beyond memory and toxin clearance, chronic activation of your stress response system causes physical changes in brain structure. Prolonged elevated cortisol levels are particularly damaging to the hippocampus, literally causing neurons in this critical memory structure to shrink and die. Studies using brain imaging have shown that people with chronic stress have measurably smaller hippocampal volumes. This isn't just correlation. We have direct evidence of the mechanism through which stress hormones damage brain tissue. The prefrontal cortex, your brain's executive control center responsible for planning, decision-making, and impulse control, also suffers under chronic stress conditions. This region requires enormous amounts of energy to function properly. When you're operating on fake energy, the prefrontal cortex is one of the first areas to lose resources. This explains why when you're exhausted but wired, you make poor decisions, lose your temper more easily, and struggle with complex thinking even though you feel alert. So how do you recognize when you're experiencing fake energy versus genuine vitality? The distinction is crucial. Real energy comes with mental clarity, stable mood, and sustained focus. You feel capable without feeling wired. Your thinking is sharp but not frantic. Your body feels energized but not tense. This is the state you experience after proper rest, good nutrition, and regular exercise. Your systems are well-resourced and functioning optimally. Fake energy, by contrast, comes with telltale signs if you know what to look for. You might feel simultaneously exhausted and unable to relax. Your thoughts may race while your body feels heavy. You experience what some describe as being tired but wired. Your heart might beat faster than it should for your activity level. You may feel irritable or emotionally volatile. Small problems feel like major crises. You crave sugar, caffeine, or other stimulants more intensely than usual. There's often a specific quality to the alertness that feels brittle or fragile, like you're holding yourself together through sheer willpower. And here's the key indicator. You know you should rest. Every rational part of you recognizes you need sleep, but you feel compelled to keep going anyway. That compulsion isn't discipline or dedication. It's your stress response hijacking your decision-making. The crash that inevitably follows a period of running on fake energy is where the true damage becomes visible. Unlike simple tiredness that resolves with a good night's sleep, these crashes can be severe and prolonged. You might sleep for 12 hours and wake up feeling unrest. You may experience what's called mental fog, where thinking feels like wading through thick syrup. Decision-making becomes nearly impossible. Your mood can plummet into depression or anxiety. Some people experience physical symptoms too. Headaches, digestive problems, muscle tension, and even compromised immune function are common. You might catch every cold that goes around because your immune system, which is heavily regulated by adequate sleep and stress management, has been compromised by weeks or months of running on emergency reserves. The recovery time from these crashes is often disproportionate to what triggered them. You might push hard for 2 weeks and need 3 weeks to feel normal again. And if you fall into a pattern of crash and recovery followed immediately by another push, you enter a downward spiral where each cycle leaves you with less genuine energy and greater dependence on stress hormones to function. Breaking this cycle requires both understanding and action. First, you need to develop better awareness of your body's genuine signals. This means regularly checking in with yourself. Not just asking if you feel tired, but asking deeper questions. How is your mood? How clear is your thinking? How does your body actually feel beneath any artificial energy? Are you relying on caffeine or willpower to keep going? Creating consistent sleep schedules is foundational. Your brain craves regularity. Going to bed and waking up at the same time every day, including weekends, helps regulate your circadian rhythm. This internal biological clock governs far more than just sleep. It influences hormone production, body temperature, digestion, and cognitive performance throughout the day. You also need to reframe rest as productive rather than lazy. This is perhaps the biggest mental shift required. We're conditioned to believe that productivity means constant output, but neuroscience tells us the opposite. Your brain produces insights, consolidates learning, and solves complex problems during rest periods. The most successful people aren't those who work the most hours. They're those who work strategically and rest effectively. Strategic breaks throughout your day prevent the need for fake energy in the first place. The research on ultradian rhythms shows that our brains naturally cycle between high focus and low focus roughly every 90 minutes. Working with these rhythms rather than against them means taking short breaks after periods of intense concentration. Even 5 minutes of genuinely resting your mind, looking away from screens, perhaps walking or stretching, allows your brain to reset. Nutrition plays a critical role too. When you eat matters almost as much as what you eat. Stable blood sugar prevents energy crashes that trigger stress responses. This means regular meals with adequate protein, healthy fats, and complex carbohydrates rather than relying on sugar and caffeine to artificially boost energy levels. Your brain needs consistent fuel, not roller coaster glucose spikes and crashes. Movement is another powerful tool. Exercise might seem counterintuitive when discussing energy conservation, but moderate regular physical activity actually improves energy levels and sleep quality. It helps regulate stress hormones, promotes neurogenesis, the creation of new brain cells, and improves the very systems that fake energy depletes. Perhaps most importantly, you need to examine the beliefs and cultural messages that keep you trapped in this cycle. Why do you feel guilty resting? Where did you learn that your worth is tied to constant productivity? What are you actually afraid will happen if you slow down? These aren't just philosophical questions. They're neurological ones. Your beliefs about rest directly influence your stress response and energy management. The moment of truth comes when you recognize fake energy for what it is. You're working late, feeling that familiar wired alertness despite being exhausted. Your old pattern would be to push through, to ride that wave until it crashes. But now you understand what's actually happening. Your brain is releasing stress hormones, borrowing from tomorrow, activating survival systems that should be reserved for genuine emergencies. This is where you make a different choice. You acknowledge the fake energy. You thank your brain for trying to help you survive. And then you deliberately choose rest instead. Not because you're weak, but because you understand neuroscience. Not because you're lazy, but because you're investing in long-term cognitive health. Not because you lack discipline, but because you have the wisdom to know that genuine recovery creates sustainable performance. That choice, repeated consistently over time, rewires your relationship with energy, productivity, and rest. Your stress response system learns it doesn't need to activate so frequently. Your sleep quality improves. Your genuine energy reserves deepen. You build resilience rather than depleting it. Most importantly, you protect your brain's long-term health rather than sacrificing it for short-term output. Understanding that your brain creates fake energy before it crashes isn't just interesting neuroscience trivia. It's practical wisdom that can transform your daily life and protect your cognitive future. Every time you recognize that brittle, wired alertness for the warning sign it is, and choose rest instead of pushing through, you're making a profound investment in your brain's health. You're clearing out toxins, consolidating memories, strengthening neural connections, and building genuine resilience. You're choosing to work with your biology rather than against it. The path to sustainable high performance isn't through grinding harder or sleeping less. It's through respecting your brain's fundamental needs and recognizing that rest isn't the opposite of productivity. It's the foundation of it. If this information opened your eyes to how you've been treating your own brain, do yourself a favor right now. Subscribe to this channel for more insights on protecting and optimizing your cognitive health. Hit that like button to share this crucial message with others who need to hear it. Your brain is the most complex and valuable organ you possess, and unlike fake energy that burns bright before crashing hard, genuine wisdom lights the way forward sustainably for a lifetime.